Hi guys, welcome back. I am so sorry, first of all, for not posting any videos the last few days. Unfortunately, I was not feeling well and it's taken me a few days to get back on my feet again, but I'm back. And I'm planning to go away to my cottage this weekend. So my hope is to get out and do a little bit of urban, or not so urban, sketching, since it's rural, but there are some cool buildings in the towns that I'd like to sketch. So I may get out and do that, at least from my car. It's been rainy and cool here unseasonably. Normally we're getting snow and it's been raining for a week. So hopefully I can get out and do a little bit of that. But if not, I have taken a lot of Paint My photos and downloaded them into my iPad so that I have references to do some paintings and sketches and things like that from my cottage, and then I can upload videos to you. I don't have internet at my cottage, but my sister does across the street, so I can always go over there and steal her internet. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that, and I apologize again for not getting any paintings up this week. I tried a couple of times, and when I'm in a lot of pain, my paintings turn out like shit. Excuse the expression, but that's the only way I can say it. They just turn out like shit because I can't stay in the lines. I'm shaking. I can't concentrate. I rush because I want to get through it. So it just was not working out. And even today, as you can see, I didn't even do my hair. I just let it go. So but today I thought, there was a thing I wanted to tell you about also. I was talking to the people at Pentalic. If you're new to my channel, I am sponsored by the Pentalic Corporation for their books. And I'm turning this upside down because this has a subscription box sticker on the front, which I do with all of my books. This one is a Stillman and Byrne book, but that's a doodle and sketch sticker. This one also has Sketchbox. Somebody was angry with me the other day because I hadn't yet posted my links for the books in my description box, and she came watch the video while I was still editing on the description and did not see my links. And she went looking at Sketchbox and kept saying, all I can get is an art subscription. So I am like, oh my gosh. So anyway, if you see stickers on the front of my books, they are not the name of the book. They are stickers that I have applied there. So I'm done being bitchy. I just, see, I'm not always that nice. People say, oh, you're so nice. Well, when I'm not feeling well, I'm not so nice. But anyway, I am sponsored by Pentalic. They make sketchbooks, office supplies, planners, journals, that kind of stuff. I'm not really into planners, so I can't really tell you much about their planners, but I am sponsored by them, and they give me free of charge books that I can work in. I pursued them because I liked their company so much. I don't just pursue any company. I pursued another company that turned me down because they said their products sell themselves. And that was Rosemary and Company in the UK with their brushes. But they felt bad, so they said, but when you give me your next order, we'll give you some free brushes. So that was kind of nice of them. And I thank you, Rosemary and Company. But with Pentalic, what I wanted to tell you about was that I was speaking to them when I put in my last order. And remember, we were talking about, some of you had bought these books and were complaining about the bindings coming apart. And I said that there was a trick to it. In fact, I gotta hide my address on here. I even have taped, there's washi tape on this, taped mine down after gluing it at the top up here, where it pulled away. The paper that glues to the cover had pulled away, and it happened on this one too. It happened twice before I figured it out. This one doesn't have an address in it. And what I had done was put glue, squirted glue down in there and behind the paper, glued it down, and then put masking tape. I was out of town when I did that, and I was just tearing masking tape in half. It was like one of the 2-inch wide things. So, and I should have my name and phone number in here so that somebody can get to me if I lose this book, because this book means a lot to me. I've got family vacations and stuff like that in there. But anyway, I was talking to them about it, and I told them that I had done a video and showed people how I fixed this and how to fix the problem, and that you could fix it by taking your book and, oh, I need a different book. Sorry, people. Again, more stickers. Taking your book and taking that first page and just folding it back where the glue sticks. I have, one second, I need to cover this thing here. Let me pause this. Okay, I'm just taping over my address portion on my thing here so that you guys can't see my address, because that messes up my videos. Never know what crazies are out there, you know? Okay. On these books, what I was saying you had to do, and it's hard to tell with white paper, but this is, here is the actual fold of the book, and when you bring this paper back, you would expect to bring it all the way back. But I can't, because it's glued into the first page. So I have a fold right here. So there is a double fold in my book, if you can see what I'm saying here. This is so hard to do. I have a fold here where the book is, and then there's another fold. See how there's a space in between there? That is because I folded this piece of paper back at the glue line, and so when you pull it up, it only comes up to here on the edge of the book. See, there's the edge of my page, and then here's the edge of the book. So, now I'm done explaining it. They said that they had gone to production and they have fixed the problem. At least so far, they have fixed it on the 5x8 journals. Because if that tears, you can see my book has gotten a little bit loose. I can move it up and down, which should stay tight. And that's just because I tore my binding away. They fixed the problem. Some people are finding these books very inexpensively. Somebody just told me they bought a 5x8 journal, Aqua Journal by Pentalic on Cheap Joe's, I believe, for just over $10. So if you're wanting a 5x8 book, go to Cheap Joe's and find the Pentalic Aqua Journal. They may be inexpensive because they have the binding problem. So now that you know the fix, if you don't mind that, I'd go ahead and buy these cheap ones up while you can get them cheap, because I'm thinking that they probably won't stay cheap. Maybe Cheap Joe's will keep them cheap. Maybe that's the regular price. I have no idea. Or maybe they're on sale. I don't know. The person who told me about it didn't tell me. She just said that. So I wanted to let you know they've gone to production with new journals that will not tear the binding when you flip the page back. So that's good news. She said that the ones that they're sending me, I think I ordered 3 5x8s. I ordered 2 of the 8.5x11s, and I think I ordered a field book, Nature Sketchbook, long skinny one. It was a 6x9, I think. And anyway, they're sending them out to me. I should probably have them next week, I would think. But she said the new ones that they're sending out should have the fixed journal. So when I get it, I will show you the difference and show you how the page flips back. Hopefully it's all fixed. But if not, don't fret. It's not the end of the world, because now you know how to fix it so that it is not a problem. Also, I want to thank thank those of you who have been leaving me such kind comments about telling me what a great friend I am. Thank you, Gracie. Eve, you've always been so sweet to me. And there was another person who just left me the most beautiful comment. I think it was on my doodle and sketch video for January. I need to find my iPad because I want to thank this person on camera. She absolutely made my day yesterday. Anyway, this woman's name is Judith Rowland, and I thank you so much, Judith, for your kind words. I mean, she started out, she said, "Hey, Sharon, you're such a hoot," and I just thought that was great. This was on the Doodle and Sketch for January box, but she said something, she thanked me. She said, many people don't realize how chronic issues can impact a life, but those who deal with them continue to engage in life and challenge themselves, provide an invaluable service to so very many others. You are one of those who stand up each day and show the world what's possible. Thank you. So many who don't comment benefit from your can-do in spite of mojo. I enjoy listening and looking at your channel, knowing that I will always gain something, usually including a few laughs. I am glad you are out there and giving us the very best you have to share. I'm not sure how one gives an atta girl, but I hope this will do. Atta girl, Sharon. That was just the last paragraph. And that made my day. Absolutely blew my mind, made my day. And it's so funny because I have school on Thursdays. I graduate in May. I'm in my 4th year at the Catholic Biblical School of Michigan. It's actually a nationwide school where we study the Bible cover to cover, every page, over a 4-year period, including all the history, scripture theology, scholar letters that justify how something has come to be, and all of everything, all the ins and outs of the Bible. And it is intense. I mean, some weeks I'm having to read 35, 40 chapters of a Bible book and doing homework and all of that. And I do that on top of my videos. But yesterday I was doing my homework, and which is why I have trouble posting anything on Thursdays. I was doing my homework, and the last question was on if I had to, we were studying 1 Peter, and if I had to give a testimony of why I am joyful so that somebody could see my faith through me, how would I describe it? What gives me that joy? How and how did it come about? So I used an example of my illness. It started to really bother me in 2003. So I'm going on 14 years of dealing with this pain. It's not like I've always been like this. I felt sorry for myself for a couple of years before I really started to gain control of myself and think, okay, well, this is your world now. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to lay around and whine, or are you going to get up and live with what you got? So I gave up golfing. I was an avid golfer. I was on a golf league. I loved to hike long distance. I did the 60-mile breast cancer walk. I trained for that for 6 months, walking 50 to 60 miles a week. Now I can't even walk through a grocery store without agonizing pain. So a lot has changed, but I found art, and that fills me up so much. But anyway, back to what I was saying, my testimony. Because of my pain, I turned to God because I couldn't control it myself. And if I get teary, I'm sorry. And if I didn't have God, if I didn't have God in my life, I would probably be suicidal. And there's days where I really feel like I can understand why somebody would want to kill themselves. You know, I've had low days, and I have PTSD, like I told you. I have a phobia now of surgeons in hospitals, and I worked with surgeons in hospitals for 30 years, and now I have panic attacks when I'm around them. But that's another long story. So anyway, if I didn't have God in my life, I don't know that I would survive this. And when my pain gets to a level where I just cannot tolerate it, asking God for help always brings my pain down to a tolerable level so that I can get through. And I'm so thankful that because of my faith, I know that my life will never end, but my pain will. One day I am going to be so free. And I look forward to that. So that is why when I got this letter from Judith Rowland, it was right after I wrote all that out. And it had stirred up so much emotion. And then I read this. And I thought, wow, that made me feel so wonderful. And these are happy tears. It is so wonderful to get feedback from a total stranger. You guys may know me. You know a little about me. You don't know a lot about me. My family could probably tell you stories, but I don't know anything about you guys, really. Just what I read, So anyway, thank you, Judith, for that wonderful, wonderful letter. And thank you to all of you who send me wonderful comments regularly. And, I do get haters, and I get people who are somewhat aggressive in their tone and rude, and like this person the other day, that if you're gonna talk about a sketchbook, you should at least put the link in there so that we can go find it. It's useless, whatever. I've got to just ignore that stuff because it drives me crazy. But now I'm going to get on to this review because this book is good, and I think it will help you, especially if you're just getting into urban sketching, or if you're watching videos of my urban sketching, which I haven't been able to do in a while because of the weather, and you're afraid to get into it because you're afraid to go out and sketch publicly because somebody might look over your shoulder or whatever. I used to be there. I was there. But this book can help you. So let's point the camera down, and I am going to go ahead and show you the book. Okay, so this book is called Urban Sketching. I don't know how to get my light so that it's not going to glare on you. Maybe if I go that way. There we go. Urban Sketching, The Complete Guide to Techniques by Thomas Thorsbecken. He goes into composition, line work, color, mood, speed, and impact for sketching buildings, people, cars, bikes, streets, public spaces, and the world that surrounds you. His sketches are just absolutely beautiful. I'm hoping that you guys can see this with less glare than on the last book. Yeah, it looks better. I'll have to remember this placement for my light. The table of contents starts out with chapter 1 being on tools and techniques, and he goes into line tools, color tools, your sketchbooks, your setup, life model class, figure drawing, drawing strokes, contour drawing, creating values in black and white, which is very important, your color palette, value and color, reading the sketch, and digital tweaks. He starts out with the foreword, and when he wrote his book, he was talking about having a New Year's resolution that he was going to do a daily blog where he posted one sketch a day, which he did. But anyway, then he gets on to what urban sketchers do. And he says here that they draw on location, indoors or out, capturing what we see from direct observation. A lot of people want to know what is the definition of urban sketching, and he's got it right here. He says, our drawings tell the story of our surroundings, the places we live, and where we travel. Our drawings are a record of time and place. We are truthful to the scenes we witness. We use any kind of media and cherish our individual styles. We support each other and draw together, which is very important, just so you're aware if you're starting out. People are very supportive. We share our drawings online, and we show the world one drawing at a time. So these are some of his drawings, and they're all through the book. He talks about the social media and getting involved on Twitter and in blogs and meeting the urban sketching community and just getting involved. And I find that they are so wonderful. There's some regular faces. They're almost like celebrities that you see, like Liz Steele and, I could go on, but I'm not going to list names. But anyway, here are the tools and techniques. I love his sketch here. He finds that, he gives you like all the nuts and bolts about sketching and learning how to choose the right tools that you might need. He talks about the pencils, markers, micron markers versus Pentel brush ink pens, getting the right touch with your lines and all of that. Then he goes into color and paints, in which tools might be useful for you with color. He goes into the different types of watercolor kits like Winsor Newton and Koi and all of those. He talks about his palette and the colors that he uses, which are quite different than mine, but everybody's got their own favorites. And then about mixing, color mixing, and I'm going to do a video on color mixing very soon. But then he goes into the sketchbooks, choosing the right sketchbook for you. Here are a bunch of different style of sketchbooks, wire bound, sewn bindings, different shapes, landscape, portrait, all of that. Lined book versus unlined books. Then talking about his setup, he uses one of these camp stools where he can put his supplies right inside. And he also carries a bag. There's all of his supplies there. But anyway, it goes on and on like that. Then he gets into the figure drawing and how to draw the human figure, learning your drawing strokes. I mean, this book is excellent. Contour drawing, just doing, the outer lines or starting a line and not picking your pen up off the paper. These sketches that he did here are to show contour drawings without looking down and how off things can get. But it really helps your drawing technique to practice that. Then he talks about creating value with black and white using your hash marks or ink to give different values of color. And that adds depth to your drawings. And then being indoors versus outdoors and how you get a lot more depth when you're outdoors and the changes that you need to make with your palette when you're doing that. This is his color palette again. But then he talks about reading the sketch and writing and all of that. This is Lapin again, I can tell. One of my favorite guys. But he talks about doing digital tweaks. Now, I don't do that. I don't put all of my sketches online digitally. I just don't. I don't get into that. So then when you're going urban, this is where he gets to chapter 2. And in chapter 2, he starts talking about getting out of the studio and sketching on location, doing thumbnails, compositions, perspective, single point, 2-point, 3-point, 3-point curves, seeing perspective, space and distance indoors versus outdoors, recording the changing city because it's always moving and how you need to do that. A sketch anchor, detailed studies, nature in sketching or in the city. Then in chapter 3, he talks about people populating your world. It's all about putting people into your sketches, putting them in context. The populated sketch, urban animals, action and movement, urban portraits and expression. And then in chapter 4, he talks about choosing your subject. How are you going to choose it? You're looking at this huge city. What are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus right in on like a street sign or a fire hydrant? Or are you going to do the entire street? Or how are you going to choose it? So he talks about that, the street life, park life, transportation, performance, working life, vacation, sketching, buildings, cafes, bars, restaurants, celebrations, social issues, newsworthy events, and then that is it. So there's just a plethora of information, and this book was so helpful to me in the beginning because I was scared to death to get outside and to sketch outside. For a while, I just did it from my car. And I have to say, sketching from a car can be very convenient too. If I'm hurting, but I want to get out and do something, I might just do it from my car. And I may not even get the painting done. I may just get the sketch done and then just go home and paint it later. Snap a photo and see what the colors are, and that way I can remember it. I always take my phone with me so that I can snap pictures. He talks about sketching on location. He says that he tends to focus on the creative process and the reasons people gather together in public forums. Authors, poets, musicians, actors, visual artists all inspire his work, and he loves to draw that. So doing thumbnails before doing your drawing in your book is very helpful in deciding what your composition is going to be. Just like if you were plein air painting, thumbnail sketches are very helpful. You can stick your values in, and that will help to improve your sketching later. It's a good habit to get into. But anyway, there is a ton of information in here. And there's Paul Heaston. He's another one of my favorites. If you ever get a chance, take a couple of his sketching classes over on Craftsy, CRAFTSY.com, or you can download their app and you can take classes. His sketching classes are phenomenal. I really enjoy his. There's a few that have sketching classes there. That's how I got into it. Then he gets into detailed studies and how much is too much adding into a sketch and adding nature into your sketches. Well, you guys know me. I love nature, so that tends to populate most of my work more than people, and I need to change that up a little bit. But then he goes into animals, sketching animals, how to do it. You know, it's just a all-around excellent book. And then choosing a subject. How do you choose? I mean, you can get overwhelmed by the stuff that's involved. And I mean, look at this sketch. How much is in it? I mean, there's a lot going on. This has a lot going on. There's a crowd of people all around. But then that book I showed you, that coffee table book the other day with John Salmonen, he has some of his New York City paintings where the people turn into just dots of color, and they're not even human anymore. But your eye tells you that they're human. And there's no faces, there's no bodies, they're just shapes. Shapes of color all blending together. So very, very interesting. So if you want another book, this is an excellent book to purchase. I really love it. And I will get into those handbooks very soon. The urban sketching handbooks, the small ones. Somebody wants to see those. But I just wanted to tell you about this book today because it is so awesome. So everybody have a terrific weekend. Oh, shoot. My camera moved again. I'm having such issues. I hope this turned out all right. Have a terrific weekend, and everybody paint with courage and wild abandon, and be kind to everyone. Bye-bye.